And we are live. Welcome to the Hardpill Network podcast. This is the podcast where we speak the truth and we stick the truth and also help them get better in the relationship, in the fitness, and in the finances. Quick announcement, follow Hardpill Network on all social media platforms. Follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, this channel has not been monetized, so if you want to support us, you can do that through our PayPal link. It's in the description below. Every donation you make will be used to get better quality instruments to give you a better quality show. Okay, so also we'll be needing a chat mode for our future shows. So if you want to help us, do well to send us an Instagram message. DM us on Instagram and we'll take it up from there. Okay, so Harvey, welcome to the show. How you doing this
I'm,
evening?
I'm doing good today. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Welcome to the show. Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so can you introduce yourself to the people for those that may not know you?
My name is Jim Harvey. I am Harvey Guys Coach on Instagram. I have developed a website and soon an app to help build a community of men for healing, support, and everything like that. So that's who I am. Certified life coach,
Great.
certified personal trainer, certified all kinds of stuff. Lots of education.
Based. So can you tell us about your background, your origin story, where you were raised, and all that stuff?
Well, I'm 52. I've been on my own since about 15. Um,
Whoa.
I am a collegiate wrestler, competitive Olympic lifter. Well, ex. I'm in 52, so I don't. Nobody does that still at 52. But like I said, I am a life coach. I am a not nutrition. I'm a wellness coach, health and wellness coach, personal trainer, carpenter, handyman, all that kind of stuff.
Awesome. So Harvey, what led you to, this journey? What led you to, become a man coach?
Well, like I said, I was on my own since 15, and there's a lot of things that I learned the hard way. That's one thing that I learned the hard way to do things, and I wish that I was part of a group that helped
Mm,
me avoid certain things. I believe back not too long ago that we were all part of a village, but I think now we all are kind of on our own, and we're not kind of watching out for each other. We're just like, oh my God, I can't believe he's doing that, instead of trying to help each other. And I think that needs to change. And that's what led me to one of the things that led me to life coaching. But I also saw, being a carpenter, I saw that the number of men getting into blue collar work that aren't forced to get into it has dropped almost 30%, which isn't good, because we need
mm,
those men to keep the infrastructure going.
structure, yeah.
If bridges start to collapse, if sewage systems start failing and stuff like that, and we don't have the people to fix it, we're in trouble, you know?
Mm,
And the other thing that I noticed is that just the male suicide rate is so high right now.
yeah,
And
that's another thing.
I just thought that, we need to do something about that. So that's one of the reasons I created my group, was for that too. And then add into it the number of fatherless homes out there. Men,
Mm,
people aren't getting taught how to be a man, an honorable, virtuous man anymore. And so they need to learn it somewhere. They're going to learn it the hard way. And I would rather have a discussion with them about how what the path they're going hasn't worked for anybody else ever. So, it's probably not going to work for you either. You know what I mean? Just those type
yeah,
of things. And and then, like I said, people just aren't honorable as they used to be. They don't practice
true.
honor, virtue. They don't, manners isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
There used to be a time where sticks and stones would break my bones, but your names will never hurt you. That's not said anymore. You call someone
Yeah.
something they don't like, and they want you to lose your job. They want you to lose your income. They want you to put
They
in
want to
jail.
cancel you.
Yeah, they want to cancel you entirely. It's like,
That's crazy.
why are you letting that name bother you? Either, I mean, like, not to quote a cheesy movie, or maybe not a cheesy movie, as um, Roadhouse, but he said the one part in Roadhouse, the guy goes, "What if they call my mama a name?" And he's like, "Is your mama that?" The guy got mad. I'm like, "If your mommy's not that, then why are you letting it bother you?" You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
you got to have, I practice Stoicism, which is an ancient philosophy, but one of the things they teach you is temperance, and that you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, camera went black. Um,
No problem.
temperance is a big part, knowing how to react to things. It's not what people say, it's how you react to it. You know what I mean? So,
Exactly. Yeah.
that answer your question?
Okay. Yeah. 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 So, coming to our question, what does it mean to be a strong masculine man in today's society?
That's a difficult question to answer. I will tell you that right now. I mean, one of the things I will tell you that I fight is toxic masculinity, and or the term of it. Most people don't know the origins of toxic masculinity was a
Mm-hmm.
psychology term that was, it had to do with, let me explain this. The pressures of society for men to be a certain way. That's
Mm.
what was toxic masculinity. That word and phrase got hijacked by someone, and now they're saying these traits of masculinity is what toxic, and that's not what it
Exactly.
was. That was not what it was ever meant to be. You know, and I agree with the old form of toxic masculinity, where it's like, not everybody's going to be a carpenter like me. Not everybody's going to be like a lumberjack guy. You know what I mean? And that's okay. But you do need to have strength. You need to be strong. Um, I don't know anything that has improved because it was weaker. You know what I mean? I don't know
Exactly.
anything, and so I don't know how that being strong is a bad thing. On the other flip side of that is they tell you not, you don't need to be strong, but then they tell you that they want you to protect them when you get into a relationship. Well, how does a weak
Mm-hmm.
man protect you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Feminism only when it benefits me.
Yeah, and so need to be strong. I think you need to have control of your emotions. That's one of the things that Stoicism, which I practice, it teaches you
It's all
that
about.
controlling your emotion, not ignoring your emotions, not saying I have no emotions. It's more along the lines of my emotions don't control me.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And the reason
Yeah.
that's important for a man, they see us as protectors, whether they want to admit it or not. And when the stuff hits the fan, if everybody's freaking out, including you, it's worse. You know
True.
what I mean? But
Yeah.
if you're able to keep it together and say, okay, wait a minute, we can handle this because you have your emotions under control. And that you have to practice that. You know what I mean? You can't say,
Yeah.
I don't have a switch on my chest that says, okay, controlled emotions, uncontrolled emotions. You have to practice that, you
Yeah. Of
know?
course.
And so I think that's a good thing. I also think that a good man or masculine man has to be capable of extreme violence, but has it under control again. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, violence is the last answer. He will walk away more often than he doesn't walk away. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
when
Sure.
he's pushed into a corner, he can take care of it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But you
Yeah.
also need to, like, as far as emotions, I also think that a masculine man is a protector, not just of the ones he loved, not just of his wife, but anyone that's not able to protect themselves, that need help.
Mm.
They need to be able to do that. They need to be able to say, hey, no, you don't treat them that way.
Exactly.
The elderly, the children, handicapped, mental disabilities, people that like who are autistic and may have Down syndrome and they don't see the world the same as us. They're just as important as anybody else. So, but they need to have someone helping them, and so we need to
Sure.
step up. You know.
Yeah. Why does society sees men, with like that are in their masculinity as dangerous?
They associate that with well, there's two reasons. I think there's a back effort. Strong men are less likely to be controlled,
Hmm.
and
Correct.
so they want to not have a society filled of strong men because then that society is not easily controlled. So there's
Hmm.
that's part of it. But I also think that there's men out there that have given us the bad name. You know what I mean?
Correct. That's true. Yeah.
Super aggressive men that feel that I'm a man, so that means I can have as many sexual partners as I want, and you women can only have me. That gives
Hmm.
us the bad name. Do as I say, or I'll beat you. That's not a strong
Hmm.
man. That's a
As
weak
a weak
man.
man.
That's
True.
insecure. But that's been associated with the term masculinity. You know, like
Hmm.
the whole macho man type of thing has been tied to masculinity when it's not necessarily so. But at the same
Hmm.
time, there are traits in manlyhood that are important, you know, and so yeah, I just think that and I also think that men don't communicate well. I don't, they're like, this is how I am. You know what I mean?
Hmm. They're not
And,
honest enough.
yeah, and so, and I think they get upset and then they don't know who to talk to, and I think that goes back to not having a village anymore. Because I remember back in the day, a long time ago, like in ancient times, men all hunted together.
Hmm.
You know what I
True.
mean? So
Yeah.
they were dependent on each other. Okay, I'm sneaking up on this lion. Make sure no lions sneak up on me. You know what I mean? So they were dependent on
Yeah.
each other, and that brotherhood was really strong. I don't think that's there anymore. We
Hmm.
have people that
True.
we do sports with and stuff like that, but um, yeah, that brotherhood's not there no more, and so they're confused on how to fit in. You
Hmm.
know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. So, what are some of the common issues men face when it comes to embracing their masculinity, and how can these issues be overcome?
Well, I think um, common issues. I believe that reality isn't something that's shared. I think
Hmm.
that everybody has their own reality because it's kind of like a recipe for food. If you replace one item with another ingredient, that recipe is entirely different. So in my life, I'm 52, I'm single, and I have no kids. My life is different. My reality is different than someone that's married with 4 or 5 kids. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I'm self employed. So that means my life is different than someone that's employed. So those realities are different, but there are some things that are the same. I think we all fight the issues of masculinity right now in society. I mean, I think that's
Hmm.
that's something, and I think that's resolved just by us getting together as men
True.
and
Brotherhood.
just and like this is how men are. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I also think that an issue is we used to have defined roles, and not and men like that. You know what I mean? They like to
Hmm.
know what is this expected of them. And now
Yeah.
it's
True.
like, do I open the door for her? Do I not open the door for her?
Hmm.
Do I approach her? And if I approach her at the gym and she doesn't like it, now I'm a pervert. So it's like we don't
Yeah.
know what. But then we'll hear, well, I never get approached anymore. I'm like, well, we don't know. Back in the day, you used to smile at us. You might,
Exactly.
a couple of times make real eye contact, do something, and now we don't know if we're supposed to approach or not. I remember in the UK, I read a story. A blind man who has not his eyes look normal when he,
Mm.
so you can't tell he's blind, right? He's at a
Yeah.
gym. He's doing the lat tricep push downs with the rope, and this lady that's on Instagram came over to him and told him that he needed to stop staring at her. And he told her, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, I didn't know I was staring at you. I'm blind." She went and got
Oh.
the manager. The manager came over and says, "I understand you're blind, but we can't have people feeling uncomfortable, so you're going to have to leave." They made the man leave.
Oh.
It's a true story. And
Oh.
that's crazy. So like I'm saying, I think one of the biggest issue is we need to figure out what our role is. And that's one of the reasons I have my community, so that we can discuss this, saying, if we decide this is our role, we just got to stick to it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Don't
Yeah.
force it on anybody else. But I also think that men don't have boundaries, especially with women.
Mm. How?
She's extremely beautiful. I would wish she would rather not share all kinds of pictures on Instagram, but if I say something, she's going to leave me.
Mm.
Okay, she can leave you. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
going to bother you for the entire relationship,
Yeah. True.
you know? And so we don't set boundaries with stuff like that, you know what I mean? Um the other thing is, it's like, but
Just
just
like
think,
Johnny Hill.
what's that?
Just like Johnny Hill and his ex-girlfriend. He did not set the boundary on time. And
Right.
when he actually set the boundary, it was now actually like it was now seen as toxic masculinity. Did you hear the news?
Well, the
Johnny
problem
Hill.
with, yeah, I heard about that. What the problem with the way he handled
Okay.
it was, the boundaries were told to her after they've been dating for a while.
Yeah. After. Yeah.
It was too late. And I tell people, the guys, that all the time. So if in the beginning of the relationship you're going to chase and you're going to chase, you're going to chase and you're going to chase, right? Then you get
Hmm.
her, and then after you have the relationship start, you stop chasing, and she gets upset and says you've changed, and you say, "No, I haven't." Well, yes, you have. You told her the type of man you were was the guy that chases. You
Mm.
see what I'm saying? And now you don't want to chase no more, so she doesn't know who you are. So the problem is being authentic, not being a jerk, not being mean, not being rude to people, but just being authentic.
Authentic. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I also think that we struggle with wanting equal effort in a relationship, but not demanding it in the beginning.
Mm.
So, example would be, if again, if you're chasing all the time, you're chasing her, you're chasing her, you're calling her, you're calling her, you're texting her, and she's barely making an effort back to you. And then later in the relationship, you're like, you're not making an effort in the relationship. Well, you didn't expect it from the beginning. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You got to be okay. I think guys have to be okay with, this is what I want in a relationship. If it's not what you want in a relationship, okay, thank you. I hope you have an enjoyable life. I hope everything goes your way. We're just not going to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I also think an issue with man is the OnlyFans thing right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Too many men
crazy.
are subscribing to those things.
Yeah. Empowering them and making them feel like they don't need men anymore.
Well, not only that, but beyond that, we say that that's not the behavior we want, but they're getting rich off that behavior. So that's
Mm.
that's 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 a two-headed coin there. We don't want you to
True.
do that, but we'll pay you for doing it. You know what I mean? It's like, so if you don't, you can't say both. So these guys have to decide. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? They need to
Mm.
decide. If they don't want that, then they need to stop contributing it, because I'm telling you right now, if the women weren't making money, they wouldn't do it.
True. True. So like we said earlier, society sees strong masculine men as dangerous. So, how can men remain in their masculinity and stay positive?
I think it goes back to the stoicism thing I was talking about. I think
Mm,
it's okay to be, if you learn how to live your life with virtue and honor, no one's going to be upset that you're a strong man.
true.
Because an honorable man is not going to abuse anybody. An honorable man is not going to go against his word. An honorable man isn't going to spread gossip. He's not going to yell and scream at people. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to get back to. We need to figure out how to teach people what it means to be honorable. You know?
Yeah. Sure.
Does that make
Uh,
sense?
yeah, makes sense. So, what are some of the things that men do, or does that emasculates them?
Demasculates them.
Yeah.
They simp. They will do
Mm-hmm.
whatever they want to whatever the girls want, and because they're afraid to lose
Yeah.
them, that's one thing. I think another thing that demasculates men is not keeping your word. If you
Mm,
don't say you're going to do something if you don't plan on doing it,
true.
because I think that if you want to be a good provider to a woman, a good protector to a woman, she's got to trust that you're going to do what you say. You know what I mean? But not only
Yeah.
women, but you're, in society and stuff like that. We need people that are doing what they say and say what they mean.
True.
I understand the power of sex. Everybody wants to have it, especially men. But you got to be okay with being who you are if that means being alone for a little bit. It's not
Mm.
easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but
Yeah, it's not.
no. So that's another
So,
thing. But I also think that we have gotten away. If you looked at pictures on the beach from the 1950s and then put pictures of people on the beach now, the weight change. We are so much heavier these days. And I think
true.
the improper nutrition has lowered the testosterone rate, so that's kind of demasculinated us too,
Mm,
because they're like, we don't want to be a musclehead. It was like, well, no one says you have to be a musclehead. Just be fit. Find a way to be
exactly.
healthy. Watch what you're eating. Um, watch what you're taking. Now, there's toothpaste out there that has extra ingredients in it that actually increases estrogen in men and lowers testosterone. Toothpaste.
Mm,
So,
crazy, man.
so you just gotta be careful. You gotta be on board. One of the pillars of stoicism is just knowing what's going on around you. It's called they call it wisdom, but it's just like knowing what the nature of things are. And it
Mm,
doesn't mean being a skeptic. It doesn't mean being bitter towards people, but it just means admitting that there are people out there that are out to harm you. And
true.
so watch out for it, But also, being a man of honor means that you're going to, and doing what you say, makes you a better protector, you know?
Okay, so how can men stop simping? Because most men simp because they're afraid of losing their girl. So how can they stop simping
Um,
and still keep their girl?
I,
Or still
yeah,
be attractive to that girl? Yeah.
the first thing is they have to, I think, learning to be okay with being alone with yourself.
Mm,
You know what I mean? And, but again, with me, my philosophy and stoicism, um, being virtuous means knowing who you are. You have to be authentic. You know what I mean? And that goes back to that is in almost all the religions, because I do studies in a lot of, I've studied a lot of the religions just to help me get through my life. That looking for answers growing up. Being on my own since about 15, homeless a couple times, and stuff like that.
mm,
The truth is always revealed eventually. So Do you want it revealed now, or do you want it revealed after you put years of time in? You know what I mean?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
so just being real with yourself. I also think that, again, being physically fit enables you to know what you're capable of. You know what I mean? If you put
Mm.
yourself through a rough workout, maybe not as rough as somebody like Joe Rogan does, but a rough workout, it allows you to prepare yourself for other things. But I think, again, just being authentic with who you are and being okay with, sorry about that, keep
Being
going
alone.
on. You got to
Being
be okay
alone.
with being alone. That's the
Yeah.
thing. You have to be okay with being alone. I think that most girls, in the end, respect that more.
True.
You know, I had a girlfriend once that she used to say to me, "Do you want to go to the mall with me?" And my response was, "If you want to know if I want to spend time with you, my answer is yes. If you want to know if I actually enjoy going to the mall, my answer will always be no. But I will go to the mall with you, but you need to understand that this is not something I like." And she kind of stood there for a second. I said, "The reason I'm telling you this, and the reason I tell you these things is because I don't want you to plan something later for like anniversary or something, and it's something I hate and things that you love because I'm doing it
Mm.
with you. You think I love them. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be bitter why we do them. I'm not going to complain why we do them. But you need to understand, I don't like doing them. I'm only doing them because I care for you." And and in the end, she liked that. She liked that. But at first,
Mm.
she's like, what are you saying? Why did you have to tell me that? You know what I
Mm.
mean? But
They
I
will
just think,
understand.
yeah, you just gotta be authentic. That's a big thing, being authentic. But I
Okay.
also, another thing that I didn't mention before about good masculine men and all these other things and how to stop simping. Men need to find their purpose, their drive,
Mm.
what they're looking for. You need to go after your purpose first. And once you are on your path to your purpose, you have your purpose, you're going to find the woman that's on that path too and wants to help you. If you try to
Mm.
find the lady first, you lose your purpose because she becomes your purpose, you know?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I forget who said this, but different people have said different ways about this. Um, Never invest your happiness in things that can be taken away from you.
Mm.
It needs to be an inside job. So a woman can be taken away from you, a house can be taken away from you, a job can be taken away from you. You need to be happy with who you are. And then the ancient Greek philosopher Seneca said, and this is before Christ's time, so this is a really old quote, so just bear with me. But he used to say,
No problem.
a sailor that doesn't know the port he's sailing, if a sailor doesn't know the port he's sailing, no wind will be favorable. So no one
Mm.
can help you on your sailboat if you don't know the direction you're going. So
Exactly. Yeah.
they need to find their purpose first,
True.
and that can be helped through a village of people, of men. That's one of other reason I just
Community of people, of
community
men. Yeah.
of men, because it's like I'm thinking about going to personal training and there's 5 guys that are personal trainers. This is what to do. This is what not to do. I'm thinking about making an investment in Bitcoin. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to help them, but there might be 6 other guys in the community that knows about Bitcoin. You know what I mean?
Mm. True.
Because I believe that you should never ask advice for people that haven't been to or are not going where you're going.
Mm.
It doesn't matter how much they love you. So what that means is my mom isn't filthy rich, right? And my goal is to become filthy rich. I'm not asking my mom's life. Doesn't mean I think less of her or that she doesn't love me. It's just she doesn't know where I'm going. So I would
Mm.
seek out someone like Elon Musk, maybe Andrew Tate, someone like that that's already has the millions. They're going where I'm going. And so that's
Yeah.
the advice. If I want to lose weight, I'm not going to ask someone that's overweight themselves. That
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense. You know what I
exactly.
mean? So that's another thing.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add? You're good.
No, I'm good. If I've answered all your questions, I'm good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So
I hope
how
I
can
did.
high
Go ahead.
come? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hope everything's going well. I'm hoping answering your questions good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're doing well, man. I'm enjoying this. Okay, so how can a high value man handle rejection?
Handle rejection.
Yeah.
Same reason he handles symptom. Same way I just told you he's handled something. You have to
Mm,
be okay with being alone.
true, 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 true.
You know what I mean? You have to be
Yeah.
authentic with yourself. But I also think that if you're all in on your purpose, everything else is peripheral.
Mm,
See what I'm
true.
saying? And
Yeah.
so, all right, so let me are you an athlete?
No, I'm not, but I work out sometimes. No, all the time.
I just wondered. So, all right, as an athlete, to make it in as a collegiate athlete in collegiate wrestling, daily I woke up saying, what am I doing to get closer to that state championship? What am I doing to get closer to that state championship? What am I doing today to get closer to the state championship? And I would follow it up with the question at the end of the day saying, what did I do today that didn't help me get closer to that state championship? And was that
Mm,
important? And so you can take that same mentality towards dating too. Is this girl she's beautiful, but is she going to help me get to my purpose? She's going to help me get to my goal. If the answer
mm.
is no and she rejected you, that's okay. You froze.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you now. You
My,
froze for a second.
I'm, oh, okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense? So
Yeah, makes sense.
rejection. Also, I think it's important to know history.
Mm,
So Sylvester Stallone had his Rocky movie turned down over 150 times before someone said yes. The lady that wrote Harry Potter had her story turned down over 500 times before someone said yes. You know
true.
what I mean? Michael
Yeah.
Jordan didn't start until his junior year of high school in basketball. You know what I mean? So rejection is part of it. I mean, it's part of the journey. If you're not getting rejection, if you're not seeing failures, your goal is too easy.
Mm, true, true, true. That's a good one. Mm,
You know what I mean? It
yeah.
just is. It's part of the fail. I've been working on this website and app for 6 years before I finally got it, and I got turned down so many times. And it's still in a process. It's just you got to realize that it's like those. There, you ever seen that meme where there's two guys digging? Have you seen that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
And
have, I
one
have.
guy stopped when he was only like 4 inches from the gold, and the
Yeah,
other guy
exactly.
finally got to gold because he went 4 inches more. I feel like life is that way. People
Mm,
give up way before they should.
easily.
Now that doesn't mean so like I had 3 different people try to help me build a website and it didn't work out. That doesn't mean I give up. It just means those 3 different places didn't work out.
Yeah.
You know? And also as far as rejection from women, you got to be careful with that. It's just hard because these days they post a picture on Instagram and get 5,000 likes. You know what I mean? They get on Bumble or Tinder and they have 500 emails within one day, and we might get 2 responses this week from people, and one of them is a bot. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And so I think that the rejections will slow down once we change our behavior. Goes back
mm,
to not subscribing to OnlyFans, not liking every hot chick on Instagram, not,
yeah.
equal effort. That's my thing. If you don't want to put an equal, if she doesn't want to put an equal effort in the beginning of a relationship, what makes you think she's going to put equal effort in later in the relationship?
Mm,
You're just telling her that minimal effort is okay.
True.
You know what I mean? And so that goes back to being authentic and being okay with who you are. Confidence is a big thing, but it's an
I was just
inside.
about to ask about confidence.
Confidence is a big thing, but it's an inside job. You
Okay.
know. But I also think that we see humility wrong. So often I hear people that say, "Oh, he's a humble person," because he'll say something like, "There's nothing special about me." You know what I mean?
Mm,
I just had God's help. And I think to myself, so are you saying God made something that's not special? That doesn't make any
mm,
sense. You see what I'm saying?
true.
I
Yeah.
think we should all say, we're fucking awesome, but so are you. I'm
Mm,
not more awesome than you, but I'm awesome. Not say we're nothing. Not saying we're not worthy. We're worthy. We're expected. I'm just not more worthy than you. I'm worthy of this. And I think that helps with confidence.
mm,
Does that
that's
make
true.
sense?
Yeah. How can men gain more confidence then?
Working out, meditation, hanging out with other men that do a lot of the stuff that they do. You know what I mean? I think that's
Yeah.
the thing. I think men tend to tell women more than they should, even if they're wives. They shouldn't know everything.
True.
That might be controversial, but here's the reason why I believe that. Their brains are different, but not only that, if you go home and you have no desire to ever quit because you're going to keep working as hard as you can because you're providing for your family, but if you go home for a week straight and complain about your boss, I guarantee part of her thinks she's scared you're going to quit.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Even though you're not going to
yeah.
quit. So now you put a little chink in this armor that she had on you that you can't repair. So instead, you
Mm,
need to tell special men, my boss sucks. Yeah, my boss sucks too. You get it out of your system, you go home, and she asks you, how was work? Work was work. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah.
I think that's
Oh,
important.
yeah.
But
Very important.
you need to find things that you're good at and make you happy and do them, regardless if other people think it's stupid or not. As long as you're not harming any other people, you know what I mean? Or harming yourself, do it. Just like I hear a lot of people online in the men's group saying men need to stay away from gaming. Well, gaming's a big business right now. If someone
Oh,
can get really,
seriously.
yeah, if someone can get really good at gaming, that could be their purpose. So to
Mm,
actively tell people not to game is stupid. What
true.
would say, if gaming is preventing you from chasing your purpose, gaming's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If it's just a distraction. But
True.
just like alcohol could be a distraction, weed could be a distraction, pornography
Porn.
could be a distraction, OnlyFans can, girls can, even working out can. I know guys that do 6, 7, 8 hours a week of working out. I'm like, is this how you make money? Though it's just what I do. Well, you're going to be poor forever. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
true.
Because
Yeah.
your whole life is a distraction at that point.
Mm,
If you want to turn it into being a personal trainer or even an influencer on Instagram, which I think is harder for guys than girls, but it can be done, you
yeah.
know?
We could.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
So, what are some of the songs? Because as much as society tries to, make masculine men seem dangerous, most women love, men that are masculine, right? So how can, I mean, what are some of the toxic masculine traits that women crave in men?
So toxic masculine traits that what? I'm sorry?
That women crave in men?
Create in men?
Crave, like
Oh, crave?
wants. Yeah.
That's a hard question for me to answer. I think that we go back to, I think women want to feel safe. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
not being authentic, not being a man of your word does not create safety in them. You know what I mean?
Mm,
They like confidence, but you just got to be careful with being arrogant. You know what I mean? Um, I think chasing puts you in the friend zone eventually because they feel like you're not going to leave. I have this guy
Mm.
like a puppy on a leash. I can do what I want. Um,
Yeah.
I think that deep down, women like men that have boundaries. I do
Mm. Yeah. True.
because if you're going to set boundaries with them and you show how much you care for them, then you're setting boundaries for people you don't really care about either. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I
Yeah.
think loyalty is a big for men, for women. I hear a lot of men on these sites saying that it's not as important for men to be
Loyal
loyal
to their
loyal
spouse.
to their women. They should have as many.
Yeah.
I think that's not true. If
That's not
actually,
true for real.
if you look at the studies, men with high body counts, marriages ends in divorce more often than men with low body counts. So it's just
Mm.
like women, but we just don't bring up that statistic much. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
True.
We just say,
Yeah.
well, women with high body count, 80% end in divorce. Men with high body count, 80% end with divorce because they both are stuck in this hamster wheel where they think that they need to have as many partners as possible to be a man or to be uh, sexy or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah.
So loyalty's big, but I think the big one is they need to feel safe. So you need to be, whether they tell you that strength is a toxic trait or not, strength, they need to feel safe. So if you're not a strong male that's not going to stand up for them, be able to stand up for them and have other men second guess whether they want to mess with you, they're not ever going to really feel safe. They don't want a man say, there was a noise downstairs, honey, go check what it was. You know what I mean?
Mm.
They want a
Yeah.
man that's saying there's a noise downstairs, stay in the room, I'm gonna go see what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you need to have control of your emotions.
Mm.
No woman likes a guy that's losing his temper all the time.
True.
You know, nobody
Yeah.
really wants to see a guy that's going to start a fight all the time. But I think those are the two things: strength and the ability to what was I going to say? Keep her safe.
Con-
I think that's the main reason they go after tall guys. They feel like the taller the guy is, the safer they will
the
be,
safer they are. Yeah.
which is actually silly. I know a lot of
Mm.
Navy SEALs, and every Navy SEAL I know that's a complete badass is under 5'8",
Mm.
and they would jack up anybody that messes with them. You know what I mean? It's kind of like uh, Floyd Mayweather. If he's not going against another boxer, if he's just a guy on the street, he's gonna mess him up. You know what I
True.
mean? And he's like five
Yeah.
six. So,
Mm.
but yeah, being honest, being open, but I think that open to a point, like I said, you can't reveal everything to them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm openly saying lie to them because I'm saying authentic too, but I'm just saying if you look at them as like you're the bodyguard and you're trying to protect them, they don't need to know everything because then they're scared. You know what I
Mm.
mean? They just need to know we're not doing this because it's not safe and you don't do it. You know what I mean? And that
Yeah.
if they trust you, they're going to do it.
Okay. Wow. Based. So, what are some of the things men do that subconsciously shows weakness to women? And what are the ways men subconsciously shows weakness to
They,
women?
they never say no. Whatever the girls
Mm.
want, yes, 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 yes. I think that shows weakness. Um,
Mm.
not standing up for her. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
belittling her in public, but not
Mm.
allowing her to belittle you in public. So if you don't want her to belittle you, don't belittle her in public. Um,
True.
and I think again it goes back to chasing. Don't chase.
Mm.
You tell them, and you approach them, you pursue them, you let them know you're interested, and if they don't show interest back, you move on.
Pull back. Yeah, exactly.
Move on.
Mm.
Move on. Most likely, they're going to say, hey, you haven't said hi to me for a while. You stop saying hi to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So those things show weakness. I think that losing your temper a lot shows weakness because it shows you can't
No
control
con
things. It
the
shows her that you
emotion,
can't
yeah.
control things, you know?
Mm.
But again, I think strength comes with boundaries. If you don't have any boundaries with yourself, with others, with your family, and with her, you pure weak.
Mm.
You don't have to be a jerk. You don't have to say, you have to do this. This is just boundaries. If you choose that these boundaries are not acceptable to you, then we go our separate ways. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
But it can't be like what the other guy did, the actor did. Those boundaries have to be vegan from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't say, I no longer like this. Well, this is who I was when we started dating. The girl, I mean. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And now
Yeah.
it's not okay. I mean, what's going on?
Mm. Okay, so what are some of the things that masculine men should never tolerate from a woman?
Um, I think that's a personal thing. You just got to make sure that, because I try not to tell men this is exactly how you live. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I think we have the discussions, and I think because there's,
But in general,
um, unloyalty. Um, I think in general, no, like I just said, no publicly disrespecting me in front of my friends and everybody. You know what I
mm,
mean? I'm not going to do it to you. You don't do it to me. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm, yeah,
Um, those are the two big ones for me: loyalty and no public disrespecting. Um, it's the two big ones for me right now. I think that those are the two things. I think that disrespect is a major thing. Men see respect as love. And if you
mm-hmm,
can't show me respect, then it's hard for me to believe you actually love me.
true.
So
Mm,
disrespect is a big thing. And everything else, I think, comes down to, like, I hear people online that saying, if I start dating, you can't have an Instagram account. I personally, I don't mind that as long as they're not posting almost nudes all the time, looking for comments from guys, accepting comments from guys, you
looking
know,
for validation.
yeah, looking for constant validation. That if my validation isn't enough for you, then maybe we shouldn't be together,
Yeah.
you know? Oh, one more thing. I think when you get into a relationship, if she doesn't change her behavior at all, if she continues the behavior she has with
Attitude.
a single person in a
Mm,
relationship, that's a red flag for me. And I also think a red
mm,
flag for me is having lots of male friends, because I
correct.
know for a fact that most guys are not friends with a beautiful girl just to be friends with her.
Mm,
Either he doesn't find her attractive at all, or he's hoping that eventually she'll give in and have sex with him. Neither one is good. So
all right, that's base now. So what are some of the things men need to do to maintain, their masculinity in the relationship?
maintain
Yes,
authenticity. We're going
maintain
to go
their.
back to that authenticity. The person you are
Mm,
at the beginning, you can adjust a little bit as you learn things from her. You know what I mean?
mm,
But be a man of honor, be a man of virtue, do what you say you're going to do and mean what you say from the beginning and carry it through. Does that make sense? I
mm,
mean, just be who you are and be honest with her, be upfront with her. Like I said with that story about the one girlfriend I had, I said, like, I love spending time with you. I'll go spend time with you. But if you want to know if I actually like going to the mall, the answer is no. I hate it,
mm.
you know? But I also think that when you do something like that, if she hates going to football games, she's probably going to go to football games with you because you're like, well, he goes to the mall with me and he hates it. So I should go to a football game with him every now and then, even though I don't like it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's a give
Yeah.
and take. But
Yeah, give and
authenticity.
take, man.
Authenticity is a really big thing for me. Dang. Sorry about
Okay.
that. I don't know how to set
Yeah,
that timer on the computer.
it's fine. So, what are some of the harsh truths men need to accept?
Harsh truths of what?
That men need to accept.
Oh, harsh truth is the world is always going to treat us differently than women. Period.
Sure. Mm.
Period. You know. Um,
Yeah.
Another harsh truth is you're not going to make it through your life without needing help.
Mm.
You're going to
You
need
can't do
help
it alone.
sometime, some way. Another harsh truth is just because you don't know something doesn't mean you're stupid. You don't know what you don't know. So don't shy away
Mm.
from something because you're afraid you're going to look stupid. Look at it as a learning chance to learn something new. You know what I mean? And then every
Yeah.
time you learn something new, I mean, look at Joe Rogan. He spent the last however long on this podcast asking questions to people that know so much more than him. Now he can
Mm.
carry a conversation with almost anybody, and he didn't have these education these other people had. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah.
And so it's okay. I always say, not knowing something doesn't mean you're stupid. It just means you don't know it. So, like, I didn't know carpentry before I started. You know, I didn't know how to wrestle until I started wrestling. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of things. So you
Yeah.
can't shy away from those things. You don't know what you don't know. And if you want to know something, you have to start. You know,
Yeah.
as they say, every champion was once a contender.
True.
So those
Yeah.
are the harsh truth. You're not going to be treated the same. You're not getting flowers. You're not getting compliments all the time, and you're never
Yeah.
going to. You're not going to be talked sweet to. You're going to get the harsh truth from everybody. If a man's fat, he's fat, and they're going to tell you he's fat. People are going to tell you
Yeah.
you're fat. They're not going to tell you you're curvy. They're not going to tell you that. So stop expecting that. Stop saying that that's not fair. You know what I mean? That's just the way life
Yeah.
is. That doesn't mean you allow people to treat you however they want to treat you. Still be a
Mm-hmm.
man and say, no, that behavior is not acceptable. But
Yeah.
just know that women are different than men and men are different than women.
Awesome, man. This has been a really, really awesome conversation, man. I've really, really learned a lot. Yeah, we've come to the end of the show. So, what are your last thoughts?
Um, really don't
And
have
where
any.
can the people find you?
Oh well, that's in process. I have so my right now my Instagram is Harvey Guys Coach on Instagram. I have a website, but that website is closing down this week because I'm developing an app. Because I determined that the majority of the people that need help are the younger generation, and they're not going to go to a website. They're going to go to an app. So in the next week
Mm.
or so, I'm going to have an app created for. It's going to be called Masculine Emergence Network, and it's all about just having questions. I'm not on it to teach you how to do anything. I'm just going to ask questions like,
Mm.
is masculinity under attack? What are your thoughts?
Mm.
Should you chase a girl? What are your thoughts? Why is
Mm-hmm.
the divorce rate so high? What are your thoughts? And we just spark a conversation. The cool thing about the new app is I'm going to be sending out daily quotes just to talk, just quick discussions on, like the Seneca quote I just gave you, or the quote about never invest your happiness in things that we can take away, or what one of my favorites is Buddha is, I am not who you think I am. You are who I think you think I am. So people see
Mm.
things from their own perspective. So if they think you're a
Yeah.
certain way, it's because that's how they are.
Sure.
You know what I mean? If they're
Yeah.
constantly suspicious, like you're a suspicious guy, I'm like, I'm not suspicious. You just suspicious of me, so you think I'm suspicious. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So, and that's what that the daily quotes for the app are free. You don't have to be a member for that. You just have to download the app. and the discussion around those apps will be free. But then we also have a forum. So the forum is where, like, if you were a member and you're like, hey, I'm struggling with this, anybody know how to do it? Everybody can do it. You know, everybody can chime in. Oh, this is how I handle that. This is how I handle that. You know what I mean? And then I have
Right.
a blog session where I'm going to do lengthy discussions about certain topics like toxic masculinity, and I'm going to ask people to comment afterwards. You know what I mean? Now, of course, if you're a bully, you're constantly calling people's names, getting angry at people, I'm going to kick you off.
Of
You know,
course.
and of course, it's men only. And of course, if you talk about harming others or harming yourself, they're going to be reported to the authorities. It's just the way it is. It's We don't need that. We need to support. But there's also a section where people can just post their achievements so that we can all celebrate with you, because there's so many men out there that have no one. They come home and they're like, I got a raise, but no one gives a fuck. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But so you
Yeah.
can, I got a quarter raise. It's not much, but a quarter raise. Hey, man, that's awesome. That means you're doing good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sure.
Better than having less than a quarter. Yeah. So that's the plan
Exactly.
with the app. It's in process. I actually have AI helping me, which even though AI scares me, but yeah. So that's it. So Harvey's Guy Coach on Instagram for right now, and if you go look for my page on Facebook, it's Masculine Emergence Network. So, but right now, like I
All
said, because
right.
we're in transition, there's not much being posted.
Okay. So guys, follow Harvey on Instagram. If you can't find him on Instagram, I put the link to his Instagram in the description. Also, he said the website is not in function now, right? Because I also added it in the description.
It's functional, but it's going to be closed down soon.
Okay, okay, okay. You can still check out the link. You can still check out the website. It's in the description. Okay, check him out on Instagram too, and follow him and all of that stuff. Also, we'll be needing your if you want to help, if you want to support the show, yeah, you can donate through our PayPal. It's in the description below. Every donation you make will be used to give you a better quality show. So guys, till next week. I'll be seeing you guys next week. Thank you for joining, and also if you're coming back to watch the video, make sure you subscribe and make sure you like the video and drop your thoughts in the comment section. Okay, guys, I'll see you next week. Harvey, thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you
Really
for having me,
appreciate you.
buddy.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, guys. Peace.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.